Hello. How is everybody doing? Nobody's here yet. I'm sure everyone will be fine once they arrive. Okay, let me set everything up here. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is just so uncomfortable. And if you guys just kind of say hey when you come in, because I'm still learning how this works. And hopefully the other side will drop by and give us a couple more little signs like they seem to be doing every week during our lives, which is nice. But gonna have some neat things to talk about tonight. And I'm excited to get started. Hello, Miss Erica. How are you? Thank you for joining me. We'll have fun. It's always fun. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, please don't hesitate. Because again, we're like the island of misfits. It's one way of looking at it to laugh about it, but we're all very intuitive people, highly intuitive. But and then with you, I know, with Eric, I know working with kids, you'll see it. You'll see that everybody is different. Everybody is different. So, hello, Miss Jennifer. Hello. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna start going. I'm gonna get going here. But hello, I am Janie Daly. I'm your psychic spiritual counselor. My son's like, you have to tell everybody what you're doing. I'm like, okay, all right, sweet pea, I'll do that. I'm also a nurse, and my newest endeavor, I've always had work with children. And I used to have psychic workshops for kids, and it was very fascinating. I was very proud of the parents. Now, with some kids, they're going to be really intuitive, but then you're going to have some kids, it's, not a big deal. The most important thing is because psychic ability is comparable to common sense. So the most important thing is to make sure that your child has common sense. Okay, so what I'm offering, I really wish that I had an office, and that is going to be my goal because I used to have an office and it was so nice to be able to have the workshops. But the goal is to get one. But in the meantime, we can still do, YouTube, or not YouTube, but what I mean, online. Also, though, I am willing to go to your home. You guys could have like a psychic party, something to that effect, where you could have groups, you could have friends. I'm gonna move around. Sorry. You could have friends, and then their kids, whatever, and you could do have a group of people at your house. You get the 5 senses checked. Everybody goes to the doctor and gets the 5 senses checked. And it's you've got to do the same with the 6, especially for those kids that are just so gifted. But the important thing is not to, when your child is saying, I'm seeing things, not to tell everybody down the family and everybody's asking the child a lot of questions, because then that gets a little overwhelming. But again, the 6th sense, it's like your other 5 senses. The 6th sense heightens the 5 senses. There's nothing to do with religion. Not a word. So honestly, how that came about, I really couldn't tell you. Well, actually, that's not true. I can tell you. I can tell you because some of us, I know myself, I can do remote viewing. So when I start talking to you guys and I'm doing your reading and you're kind of telling me a story, I am seeing everything in my head to the point where I could literally describe your home, because I do remote viewing. It's the same thing with body scanning. I can see within your body. And that makes some people nervous, I guess, in government or wherever. So I feel like back in the day, we didn't have a constitution. We didn't have any laws really. And people were very intuitive, and they had to keep control. Because remember too, there's a lot of people who use it for bad, that will use it for destruction. So which that really saddens me. So that could be how the devil stuff got affiliated with that. That could be it. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful gift to have, a beautiful gift to use. Don't be afraid. I'm going to tell you this, though. Be careful what you ask for. Because when you ask, oh, I want to see you, angels, the angels know that you're going to like have a panic attack or you're going to freak out because they just appeared to you and you're like, oh my gosh. But I mean, because really, realistically, it's a lot when all of a sudden, you have somebody in front of you and they are translucent. And some people, it's really terrifying. So anyway, be careful what you ask for, but don't be afraid. Just please, no fear. And the biggest thing too is don't show your kids that you're afraid. Okay, so then, so I do that. I also do communications with animals and loved ones who have passed. I do mediumship. And I also deliver messages from God. And there will be times, and I always get permission, there will be times, or there may be times where I will have a message for you and I will reach out to you and I will give you the message. And you guys, they're always good. God always gives loving messages, especially when you're really down or even when you're really happy. Doesn't just have to be sadness, but even when, and you've been doing a great job, you may get a message that says, hey, keep up the great work. I'm so proud of you. So I think, Erica, we talked about signs, maybe. I think signs. Because one of the things, sorry, let me just fix this. One of the things today is I want to share. Okay, well, after tonight, the next, I should say, coming up later, going to be your angel card messages and also the sign for the week. But I'm going to tell you guys what the sign for the week is. The sign for the week is, there's two. The one sign that's really neat is the helium birthday balloons. You're going to see one or some this week. And that is for those of you that have birthdays coming up, or for those of you who have loved ones who have passed. A dear young man who was, a client, and I love his family. It's his birthday today. Hello, Miss Renee. Okay. So anyway, it's Adam. Adam's birthday is today. And so yesterday, you guys, I see my neighbors, right? They're so cute. They're so cute. They're like in their 90s. No, the one in his 80s. The other one's in his 90s. And I see them looking out the door, but I don't know what they were looking at. So, I'm like, not going to bother them. So today, though, I had said that I would help the one guy with the cat because his wife's in the hospital. And when she meows, it sounds like somebody's like pulling her arms off or something. It's so loud. So I have Ellie tell me, when you hear Molly bark, let me know and I'll go over and give her snacks or feed her. So she let me know that she heard Molly, and sure enough, but her owner came home. And at the same time, when I was going over there, and he says to me, oh, I got to show you something. Okay, so you guys, this is how it works, okay? Remember, I saw the two male neighbors looking out at the apartment in the parking lot, but I didn't ask. But he comes back and he says, I got to show you. I got to show you what I was showing Wayne. And I said, okay. So I go to the door and he goes, look up at the top of that tree. And I look, and it's one of those like silvery helium balloons. And he says, hey, it's been there. It's been there for like 2 days, and it's just going from this branch. It goes from the top branch to the other branch, the bottom branch, to the top to the bottom. And he says, but it hasn't moved. He goes, it's like it's stuck there. So I take Ellie out, my dog, and Ellie doesn't like balloons, but that's because of that one hair place around here has the flailing arms. She was a puppy. She wasn't happy with that, but anyway. But right away she notices this balloon, and she like starts like pulling away, and she's just looking at the top of the tree. And I was on the phone with a friend whose birthday is Friday. So I'm like saying something what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing that this is for people. This is going to be the sign this week for birthdays. And to the parents, like for their loved ones that have passed, the kids that have passed, it's just nice. It's a nice sign. And I go, oh my gosh, yeah, this is a birthday message. This is a birthday message for everybody whose birthday is, coming up today and coming up. Actually, it's for the month of June. Yeah, I thought it was just for the week, but it's actually for the month of June. Okay. You guys, as soon as I said it, the next thing you know, the balloon was released. Balloon was released. There it goes. And it goes, right? It goes up, 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 up into the clouds. It goes into the clouds. And it was like, wow, that's definitely definitely a divine sign. Signs are all around you. Also, I got to tell you, with kids, going back to children and their psychic abilities, it's scary. It is frightening to talk to children, obviously, about ghosts. But you can talk to them about angels. Because I feel like, I don't know, if they know that they have somebody who really loves them and is walking with them, they're prone to probably not do like bad things. I mean, the kids are going to be curious, of course, but they know they're not alone. And they would probably think the way that I did was like, I'm going to get caught. I'd be like, come on, Ian, just turn around for a second. But yeah, anyway. But what I like to do is like teaching my children and grandchildren that signs are heart rocks. I get them to look for heart rocks and tell them that these are signs from their angels. And it's so nice to see like the kids when they're outside, everybody's looking for heart rocks and finding them, may I add. So it's nice. There's always signs. You just have to stay off the phone and just pay attention to what's around you. Also, you guys, I did it again. So again, I have instructions from my son, which I don't follow, but he didn't listen to me either. I'm teasing. But I do want to ask you again to hit the subscribe, the like button, and the share. I really want this channel to grow. I want our channel to grow so we can help as many people as possible. Okay, most definitely. Okay, so I want also to schedule a reading with me. You can send me an email. You can get me through Janie Daly on Facebook, the messenger, Facebook Messenger. But what we are going to talk about today this is really weird, but it's so, so cool. All right. And I feel like I'm jumping to do this, but I feel like it's kind of important to say. Because this is the kind of stuff, what I'm going to tell you tonight is the kind of stuff that I would write down in the past. But I got to tell you, somebody read my journal and I like never really kept another one. But I have started again because it's a true violation. But you guys, it's really good. Some people, if you just take a little bit of time, first thing in the morning or late at night. My favorite time is later at night because it's less stuff and you can hear God better. You hear your divine loved ones better. So there's a couple things I do. These books are like from ancient times. Like, seriously. The Course in Miracles is like really old series. But I have this one, and it's daily meditations, and it's dated. You know what I mean? So every day, look, this is how old the pages are crinkly. Every day I read for the day what it is, and it has like a little affirmation at the bottom. Then I go to the next thing. Meditations to heal your life. That's Louise Hay. Look how old this is. Doesn't even have a cover. And what I do is I take it at one point, I was, like flipping and then wherever it would stop. But then I heard no. So I do it one day at a time. Like the next, like today it was beauty. And like flowers, like people are all beautiful in their own way and constantly unfolding. And then tomorrow, of course, will be the next one, which the next one is they talk about bills. My bills are an affirmation of my ability to pay. Louise Hay, phenomenal lady. And what she says, like I can tell you about a lot of the things with health, she's 1,000% accurate, especially with breast cancer. She said with breast cancer, she said, now most of us, okay, mostly everybody, if anybody's going to mess with your family or your children or your pets, your mama bears. I mean, that goes without saying. But there's a lot of times you let people walk all over you. And the saying is, well, I like to pick and choose my battles. That's true. But if it hurts you to the point where you are carrying it within, it's hurting you then. What happens, according to Louise Hay, and I have found it to be 1,000% accurate, it's going into your chest. All of that tension going inside. What happens? You're prone to getting breast cancer. Not kidding you. Not kidding you. I mean, it's because every woman who I talk, because I'm a huge scientific person, I'm very scientific. That's why for me to be teaching this, yeah, it's a little different. I'm not really different, but well, I'm very scientific. I will do experiments, I do surveys, I do all kinds. Anyway, every woman said, though, every one of them said, oh yeah, somebody messes with my family. Oh yeah, like they're big and bad, streetwise, blah, blah, blah. Well, what about when like they hurt you? Like, why are you staying in this marriage that's not good? And he's like nasty to you and says terrible things to you. Well, I mean, after all, so it's like, but it's funny, you guys, like if your kids come to you and say that a man or a woman is treating them that way, you tell them to go. So why do you take it? So anyway, whole point of this little lecture, get it off your chest, get it out, because you do not want that inside. So to continue, Louise Hay, this is her You Can Heal Your Life. This, you guys, such a nice book. And it's not like one of those books that's like it has its chapters, very colorful, and then has like affirmations with each chapter. And I would just read a little bit a day, and I would read like one of her affirmations. Her affirmations, phenomenal. Like one of them, for instance, I'm a positive person and good things happen to me, right? But when like everything goes wrong and you're really ticked off, that's when it's like, I'm not going to say the words, but you can imagine it's like, I'm a positive person. And because you're like saying things like that it makes you laugh. But anyway, so this is all part of my morning or my early morning meditation, because a lot of times it's 1:00 in the morning. And then I pull out my Archangel deck, and I will ask for a message that I need to hear and I need to focus on. Allow it to fall from the deck. So it does. And I like really don't like writing so much. So I'm like, please, I don't want the whole deck. One card's really good. But I've learned with the other side, with God, just do as you're told. It does no good to argue. But anyway, So, and you guys, I joke, but I say it with love. You have to, you've got to laugh. You just have to. But anyway, so then that card falls out. And then I go to my journal. Okay. And I write the cards. But also while writing, I write, dearest divine family. And your divine family, it's God, it's Jesus, it's Archangel Michael, it's your deceased loved ones, it's saints, anybody. But it's people that have passed and those that you truly love. And because there's so many, I kind of just shorten it to dearest divine family. But anyway, and then you write the cards also that fell out. And then you don't have to do the cards. Like I don't always I do the cards once a week, or if I really need help, but most of the time I just do it once a week. And it is nice to see because they're always right. They're always right. Your angels, God, they don't mess up. They're always right. So anyway, on that, let's go to our story. So with Charlie. Charlie's a squirrel that we used to hang out in I had like a house and an office in Hartford County in Bel Air. And Charlie was a squirrel this house had a beautiful deck on the back. And I would sit in the morning and I would do my meditations and I would do, paperwork and just business. And as I was sitting outside, it was so pretty. And Charlie would come up and talk. And then, of course, I'd give him some food, whatever. And away he would go. And then he would also yell at Lily, my dog at the time, because, it's like, don't come near me. Stay away from my tree. I got babies there, blah, 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 whatever. You guys, the kids would laugh at me because I would be in my room on the second floor and I would feel somebody staring at me. And I look out of the window and it had like a roof because it had the doorway that was pronounced. There's Charlie looking in the window. So I was like, so I started singing, oh, how are you, little Charlie, right? Well, my son hears me and he's like, there she goes again, Snow White. So he comes in and he's like, unbelievable, Mom. This is just like people wouldn't believe this. Anyway, with animals, they know what kind of person you are, and they know that you're not going to, to hurt them. And they'll tell you things. They will tell you things. So I had this cat. I believe I've mentioned her before. I found her in a gas station. I was with my youngest son, and it was at a gas station. So I went to go get gas, and I see this poor little kitten licking on the ground old bubble gum. So I go in and I got a soda, and it's weird how we stopped in. I didn't go there for gas. I just went because my son was thirsty. So okay. So I go in and I figure, let me get some cat food. So I put it on the counter, and the lady behind the counter goes, I hope you're not buying it for that thing outside. I go, for my son? She goes, no, that cat. I go, well, I'm spending money in your store. So what I spend my money on is really not your business. I'm not, Anyway, which was very rude. But anyway, so I go outside, you guys, and he is holding the cat. And then, of course, what do I get? He didn't even have to finish. And I was like, get in the car. Just get in the car. So we take the cat home, and the cat had a useless leg, the rear right leg, because she apparently was hit by a car. So she had a broken hip, a useless right leg. I take her to Churchville Vets, and I made a deal with the vet because the vet's like, you need to just put her down, Miss Daly. You really need to just put her down, because she said she's pregnant and she has a broken hip, which means she's going to have surgery. she'll have to have like a C-section. And she's like, I'm sure you don't want to spend that amount of money. I go, well, yeah, like we'll make a deal. If she has the kitty cat leukemia, then yes, then I agree with you. Because, I had a cat with that and that was just horrible. So she comes back in with a needle. And I'm looking like, it's odd. I didn't feel that the cat had that. The cat had heartworm in addition to being pregnant, broken hip, and a useless leg that would have to be amputated eventually, she said. I go, okay, well, what is the immunizations for? What are the injections? What's going on? She said, well, come on, she has heartworm. I go, yeah, heartworm? That's not feline leukemia. So anyway, I take her home. And that is the one I did healing with her, and she knew. She would stay on my lap because she knew what was happening. She'd stay with me, and when she was done, she would get up. Anyway, she lost the babies because obviously she had started bleeding, so she lost the babies. So I actually had an appointment for her to have her to be spayed. Or no, wait, for her surgery. Yeah, for the surgery, and then to get her spayed with all that, that stuff. But I'm trying to think what, because there was something else. She had an appointment for something else. I think it was for shots. It was just for shots. That's what it was. Yeah, it was for shots. Because then she said, right, because then the receptionist said, yeah, and then we'll talk about making the date for her to have her babies. And I go, oh, no. Sadly, she lost the babies. The babies died, because of the healing was just too much. Well, the lady didn't ask me what I meant. So anyway, so I go in, and the vet had actually taken x-rays because she couldn't believe her pelvis was not broken any longer. Her leg was in full use. She did lose the babies, but she was very healthy. But this is when I tell you, like, there's angels involved, you guys. There's signs, there's angels, and like that kind of thing could make you so angry. Oh, and I should say, when I went to pay, of course, the receptionist says, oh, well, you don't have to pay for the x-ray. And that's when I was like, wait, what x-ray? What for? And I guess the vet couldn't believe it, because what happened? This cat was ready to be put down. It was poor little thing, like a little wounded soldier. God bless her. But anyway, so she was a family favorite, obviously, and the clients loved her. Everybody loved her. But then she went missing. And my youngest son especially was very close. The last time they were together, the cat was actually trying to play his guitar. It was kind of cute. But she wasn't coming around. And that night she didn't come home. So the next morning, I'd had my routine. I'm on the deck. Charlie the squirrel comes walking on the railing across from me. And I was on the phone. I was on the phone with a friend. And I'm looking at him. And I said to her, you know what? I think Charlie has a mustache. And I don't want to, you have to see funny things in everything, But yeah, I think Charlie has a mustache. She's like, what? I don't know. It's really weird. There's like something with his mouth. You guys, he walks over on the ledge. He's looking at me. And I can tell the way he's looking at me, he's trying to tell me something. He jumps down. He comes in front of me. And he dropped something. He looked at me and chittered something and then walked away. He brought a piece of fur from the kitty. And that was her name, I think. Yeah, Kitty. Brought a piece of fur from Kitty and dropped it down, because I looked at it and I went, oh my gosh. And I knew, obviously, I knew. So, because apparently she was hit by a car the day before. She was hit in front of a place that the kids called the Stairway to Heaven. And somebody was kind enough to move her body over to the side of the road. But I mean, it was such a, she wouldn't stay inside. She was an outside cat, you know what I mean? Uh, and she would follow the kids out. She'd get out of the house and follow the boys. So, but yeah, and we did confirm it. We went, and sure enough, her body was there, and we did bury her. But yes, Charlie the squirrel is the one who let me know. And then that night, that afternoon, I said to the kids, we need to have a meeting tonight. So I need everybody to come back at around 6:00 because we'll have dinner together. So we were all sitting in the front living room. And I should say too, the kids kept checking the door. Hello, Frank, welcome. The kids kept checking the doors like all day. But I said to them that Kitty died. And I told them what happened. And they're like, no, that's not true, Mom. Come on, Mom, that's not true. At that moment, we heard her meow at the door that she would always, because she used to just sit on the outside, on the side. There was a porch that went to the backyard, and she would always sit there. The kids heard it and ran. It's like, I told you she wasn't dead. No, she wasn't there. But that was like her way of saying, it's true. I've gone home. So animals are huge with signs and giving us signs. The other side uses animals a lot to give us signs. Because I'm sure you guys have heard where people will say, I don't even like people. I hate dealing with people. And a lot of people are like, I'd rather deal with animals. Well, that's heard. Your requests are heard in heaven. And God said, taking a poll, and we got to send more animals. Forget the humans. No, but no, seriously. But it's amazing. Animals are amazing. Erica, very good question. Yes, repeated numbers, definitely a sign. Most definitely. They will, the other side will keep showing you numbers, like the 11s, the ones, angel numbers. You guys, and here's what you do when you see angel numbers. And I'm not trying to make this like a betting kind of thing, because that's not intended for that. But, and I teach the kids this too. When you see like 111 or 1111, take that 1 minute and you can ask for help. Anything you need help with, you can ask. And or you can give gratitude for everything that has been given to you and done for you. You can pray for someone, whatever you need help with, do it in that minute. And then like you'll see like the 1112 come up or the 112. And but yes, so definitely your angels will also keep showing you your birth date. Yes. Your angels will keep showing you your birth date. And that's their way too of saying, hey, happy birthday. They all, oh my gosh, this is kind of neat to you guys. So I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I hope I didn't say this before, but anyway, I noticed that being a nurse, right? There's signs that can, hello, Miss Karen. Oh, thank you. There are so many signs that say that you have dementia. And I'm like, but see, this is why it's good to know about your sixth sense. This is why it's good to know. Because I can tell you the stuff that I listen to on YouTube, That would have had me calling the doctor if I didn't know any better, going, yeah, either reserve me a spot in memory support or put me on some medication. Because one of the signs is smelling cigarette smoke. You guys, that's what people do that have passed and smoked. That's what they do. They make sure you smell the smoke. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a different story. Like if you're like walking around everywhere and everywhere you're smelling cigarettes when there's no reason to be smelling cigarettes. Of course, that's an issue. But it's very normal. I bought a house from a gentleman who actually died from lung cancer, and I would always smell cigarettes. Oh, and also what he did. My ex, he didn't really care for. So, but whenever like my ex would, when he would upset me in the dead of winter, I would smell lilacs. Lilacs are my favorite flowers in the dead of winter. Never failed. And it's like, wow. And I knew it was him. So I said, thank you so, so much. But they'll also, speaking of like, because I'm thinking of him at the house and when there was almost a break-in and he woke me up so that I could stop it and process. They do look after you. They really do. Who is, hello, Miss CM. Oh my gosh, I'm like really bad with, thank you guys for joining. Okay, but anyway, so yes, I had somebody the other night that I was talking to who, I kid you not, her boyfriend passed away. And he was so, and this, you guys, this part is normal. It's so wonderful. But her boyfriend passed away, right? And he was so excited. He was like, he could not wait for the time to come when I was on the phone with her. And Frank, thank you for that. Because, you know, there are some humans that are angels that reach out and help these people. And this human angel connected me with this person that I'm talking about. He was so excited that, right? The boyfriend who passed. So I was like, okay, well, you go ahead and do what you got to do. But, you know, you can come back when, I don't know, it was 2 days later. I'll see you soon. Well, he's like, well, don't you want to know about me? I go, well, I'll find out. We'll talk, but not right now. So I could feel him right next to me. I could feel him. And then all of a sudden, I feel air on my face, like somebody coming up and going, yeah. And I'm like, oh, come on, are you kidding me? And sure enough, I did confirm with the girlfriend that he would do that kind of stuff. Yeah, he would do that kind of stuff. He loved playing jokes or doing anything that might torment you, that would aggravate you. I mean, it didn't aggravate me. I thought it was funny. But they do give signs. And it's so, so nice. They're not gone. You guys, our loved ones, they're not gone. I mean, even, I don't know, I'm seeing even something now on my screen. God only knows. Literally, God only knows. But yeah. I don't know if you guys see it. Huh. It's very different. Okay. Anyway. Aw, there's Jen. I know, Frank. See? Awesome. Courtney. Hi. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. Anyway, so, I mean, does anybody have like any questions? Any like specific questions? And the thing is, don't be embarrassed. That's a big thing too. You know, I've never had issues with relationships as far as who I am and my spirituality. because it's me, and that's part of who I am. I've always seen deceased people. I've always talked to animals. That's just me. So it's funny because my ex-husband actually got me into this. He kind of pushed me into it, um and he's like, no, because not everybody does it. And then and it's funny, you guys, he would have been considered like one of the biggest doubters, but he didn't tell me that because I wouldn't date somebody who was atheist and really mean it. You can tell when somebody is saying like, oh, I don't believe in that crap, because it scares them. And chances are they saw like spirits when they were little. So I mean, that's understandable. But he got to the point where this is one of the reasons why we split up. So what happens is I would be sound asleep. When I go to sleep, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. He had back issues. So they would get on, because I would sleep on the right side, right? So they would all over on the right side and bang and hit the bed. Well, he would sit up. He looks over to his right and he goes, I just see a room full of spirits. He would say, I'm not kidding you. He's like, it was crowded, completely crowded. And he goes, but I was mad. He goes, I was so mad because and he said, you all got to stop this. This is ridiculous. Look at her. Look at her. You're trying to get her attention, but she's sound asleep. And me, I've got a bad back, and you keep waking me up. So it was kind of funny. So, and like after we did split up, he was just like, yeah, I don't mind having you over, but I just want you to leave your little guests that follow you around. You leave them outside. That'd be appreciated. Yes. I know. Oh, I know, Karen. I'm looking at something that's still there, though. It's very odd. So I'm like eager to see. Yes, so you guys, last week, like I'm sitting there and I saw something go down, and I watched it too. And when it went down, it sounded like a rock, or not a rock, but something heavy. You could hear it. So I don't know why. So then I thought, well, I'm very scientific. And if that, I'm very scientific. So I was like, I mean, technically, I could have been maybe maybe somebody put something on the ceiling, taped it, and then it fell. Right. So, but really, my thought was more of, wonder if that's a spider. But then I was like, that was a big white spider. That's a little weird. Anyway, so a friend, her boyfriend is a musician and he's really good with equipment and everything. So he went ahead and deciphered it and took it apart and showed it to me. And it looks like a translucent white feather that started right at the door, worked to like that part over there, and then came over here and dropped apparently in front of me. So, and then there was like the week before that, the orb that just kind of like shot on this side and just like went around. Yeah, a big orb. I mean, because like with the little, I don't know, people talk about orbs. They're not always spirits. Sometimes it's dust, sometimes it's rain. The archangel orbs are the orbs that have color inside. They're so cool, you guys. Okay, so they're orbs, they're round, but they look like they have like little amoebas inside. So cool. They're so cool. And a lot of them are like colored. So it's amazing. It's a wonderful world. So you guys, it's seriously. But I do want this. I got to stop moving the screen. I do want this channel to grow. So many people are so unhappy. And I feel like as a community, like we can make this community big and we can all get together. We can have meeting places, and we can have like weekly meetings to where it like could be prayer and talk and laughter and healings, because a lot of you have healing abilities too. A lot of you do. You guys, it works. With my dog Lily, I'm telling you. And I'm going to say I was instrumental. With Jesus, I'm going to say, actually, Jesus is the healer. And I wouldn't take credit for that. I would not take credit for when we did healing on a lady who was actually in an accident and couldn't feel her legs and was in horrible pain in her feet and everything. But I said, Jesus, that's all you and you guys. The first time that I did that, like the healing, I'm in my office in Bel Air, and I heard, ask her to stand up and put your hands on her back. Mentally, I'm like, no. And then I heard it again. And I said mentally, look, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's weird. No. So, and again. And then I'm kind of getting annoyed because it's like, stop asking me. I already said I'm going to do it. But I heard again. I heard Jesus again saying, just do it. Do it now. So then I asked her, and I was like, yeah, would you stand up? Do you mind if I put my hands on your back? And she said, no, that's fine. And then he instructed me where to put my hands. And I'm telling you, she's standing there and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I can feel my feet. I actually can feel my feet. Yeah, it's amazing. But you guys, we can do that. We can heal. We're not going to be able to heal everybody, because remember, everybody has a path. We all have a path. And, and sometimes it could be something that is emotionally, like Louise Hay talks about, like with emotions and life situations that can cause havoc health-wise. Sometimes it's something like that we can lift. You never know. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But the big thing is having faith. So anyway, if you guys help me to grow this channel, we can grow and go. And just, we could go like and make a difference. Because people need help. The world is I feel like a lot of the weather is so crazy because people are so angry. So angry. And I do like it. Remember when Princess Di died? Like, I remember that. And I was much younger, but I remember watching and and feeling so sad and like tearful. And it rained for days. But I do feel like the universe, Mother Nature, feels our pain and reacts. And I think she gets pretty ticked off too, especially when like people are trying to manipulate her. Yeah, I get that she doesn't like that. But anyway, so yeah. But smiling, and I should close on this because I'm keeping you guys a long time, but smiling, saying hello to someone, it could change someone's life. I mean, definitely can change their day to have a better day. And remember, hurt people. That person who just cut you off and then flat and gave you the middle finger could have been somebody who just found out his wife was diagnosed with breast cancer and he doesn't know how to handle it. And did he handle it right with the way that he treated you? Absolutely not. Absolutely. But sometimes we react in ways that are unexpected because there's some things, it's like having a child, there's no booklet. You just got to wing it sometimes. So just practice kindness. That's huge. And, when somebody needs to talk, and that's why I really want to build up, because I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to help everybody and anybody. But, I am single, so I have to make an income or else I won't be able to help anybody. But, if the more we get out there and the channel grows, then, oh my gosh, I'll be able to help like so many people. And a lot of you are going to follow through. A lot of you are going to make some really important changes in the world, actually. So, oh, Jennifer, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. There is one more thing too about those that have passed. Um, it's important to, and Jennifer, you're really good at this. You're really good at this. You are allowing Chad to discover where he is now and to grow and to be able to kind of like, as they say, like earn the wings. But there's a lot of people when somebody passes, they have a very hard time. And it is hard. It is very hard. But I don't know. They're always with us, always. And I learned that from a very young age because my mom died when I was little. And I used to say to people when they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that your mom passed." And I'm like, "Well, me too. I do. I miss her, obviously, like physically, and hugging her." But I said, "No, but actually, I'm pretty lucky because she can go everywhere with me." I mean, especially like, when you're in school and you're like anxious, I'm like, whose mother can sit there and say, and like mentally tell me, just breathe, Janie, breathe. Either that or stop thinking about the boys, breathe, do your test. Just kidding. Well, maybe I'm really not kidding, but just know you guys, and you never walk alone. So this week, I really want everybody to also, I want you to talk to your angels. Find out who your guide is. Remember signs. When you hear something 3 times, it's a sign. 3 times is a sign. It also counts, though, if you encounter someone, you find that you're giving them advice and that this advice is something that you had heard or received yourself, then that message is for you as well. So, and also with your sixth sense, you can be of any religious denomination. You can be of any religious denomination. So, and the thing too with that is you can have access to your creator. You don't need somebody to do that for you. Because we are kind of programmed like, well, we can't do that. We have to. In my case, I was raised Catholic. Only the priest can do it. So, and then when I need forgiveness, I have to go to the priest, No, no, no. You're special. You're loved. You can go. You can go in person. Well, you know what I mean. Because it is amazing. Also, I'm supposed to share again too about the microwave. So please, you guys, if you don't have to use a microwave, please don't do so. And on that note, we should call it a night. Thank you guys so much. I want to do like another one during the week, but I don't know the time. I don't know. Because I did try like on a Thursday also, like at 7:30, but a lot of people say they go out on Thursday nights. So if you guys want to give me an idea, because I was even thinking like Saturday mornings, maybe. I don't know. For some reason, people used to say Saturday mornings back in the day. And I always thought that was odd because people have kids and stuff. But I would be interested to hear what you all think. And again, thank you so much. Please hit subscribe. Bring people with you next week. Share the video, and most of all, have a wonderful night. And I will be posting the signs, because there is another sign beside the balloon for the week, and also the angel card signs. And I'll give you a heads up for next week also, or this week, I'm sorry, this week coming up. In addition to the helium balloon, like the silver helium balloons, it's also a lion and or a lioness. And that is supposed to represent the prosperity and have courage. And that things financially should turn around, but have courage. Like if you feel that you could do something, but you're kind of afraid, don't be timid. So, and that is it. So, you guys, thank you so, so much for joining me. I love you all. Good night and God bless. And if there's anything that you would like any topics, please don't hesitate to send me a text or an email, whatever. But also, and if you need an appointment, you know how to find me. All right, you guys. Sending you all many, many angel blessings. Thank you again for joining.